Good morning, everyone. Today, we're diving into a crucial topic that affects the very foundation of business trust: financial fraud and misrepresentation in corporate reporting. We'll explore different types of fraud, including liability fraud, asset fraud, and disclosure fraud, and examine how they undermine financial integrity. This presentation aims to shed light on these issues and help us understand their significant impact on the corporate world. Let's get started. When we talk about fraud in financial reporting, there are three main categories to understand: liability frauds, asset frauds, and inadequate disclosure frauds. Liability frauds happen when a company understates its liabilities, making it look financially stronger and less leveraged than it actually is. This can mislead investors about the company's risk. Asset frauds are the opposite, where a company overstates its assets to exaggerate its value and overall financial position. This creates an inflated picture of the company's worth. Finally, inadequate disclosure frauds occur when companies don't fully or transparently share important financial information. This lack of openness can mislead stakeholders, as they don't get the full picture they need to make informed decisions. Each type of fraud distorts the financial reality in different ways, but all aim to deceive users of financial statements. Liability frauds are essentially attempts to make a company's financial health look better than it actually is by understating what it owes. This means the business reports lower liabilities than it truly has. Common ways this happens include recording liabilities that are suspiciously low compared to the size of the business, or delaying the recognition of expenses and payables. Sometimes, the supporting documents like supplier invoices or payable ledgers are altered, left out, or even destroyed to hide the real numbers. These actions can seriously distort financial reports, giving investors and creditors a misleading picture of the company's debt levels, solvency, and overall risk. It's important to understand that the integrity of supporting documentation is often targeted in these frauds, which makes detecting them all the more challenging. Asset fraud schemes involve deliberately inflating the reported value of assets to make a company appear more valuable than it actually is. This often happens when recorded asset values exceed what would be considered reasonable or align with market-based estimates. One common sign is when assets are revalued unusually often or without a clear, justified reason. These practices can seriously distort how strong a company looks financially, which in turn can mislead investors and lenders when they're making important decisions about providing capital or credit. Understanding these signs is crucial for identifying and preventing asset overstatement fraud. Here, we see some common types of inadequate disclosure frauds that can significantly mislead users of financial statements. First, there's the omission of required notes or explanations. These notes are crucial because they provide context and detail that can't be captured by the numbers alone. When these are missing, it creates gaps in understanding. Next, vague or incomplete disclosures can also be a problem. If a company isn't clear about risks or uncertainties, it's much harder for investors and other stakeholders to make informed decisions. This lack of clarity can hide important information or downplay potential issues. We also need to watch for discrepancies between a company's disclosures and those of other similar companies in the industry. If a company's reporting stands out as inconsistent or unusual compared to its peers, that could be a red flag signaling potential manipulation. Finally, low financial transparency overall makes it difficult for users to accurately assess the company's financial health. When transparency is compromised, it erodes trust and undermines the entire purpose of financial reporting, which is to provide reliable and clear information to users. These practices create serious challenges for anyone relying on the financial statements to make decisions.